Does therapy work? This is an important question because, anyone that has a mental health problem has to consider the possibility of seeking professional help. But, a lot of the time, and if you've looked at my past videos, you'll know that the process can be a bit daunting and not that satisfying. So I wanted to share my experiences, and really this was brought to my attention by a question that one of you guys wrote in. So I'm going to read a bit of it to you. In my experience, what's more valuable, working out or therapy? What helps most to keep you in a state of balance? Do you think it's possible to manage mental health issues without therapy? And the question goes on, as part of my mental health plan, I'm supposed to do sessions of therapy. I don't mind it, but it never seems to be productive as me for yoga, running, aerial hoop, lifting or fighting. Also eating well, sleeping or meditation. These all make sense to me and upgrade my wellness. Therapy never felt like such an upgrade to my wellness. Am I missing something? I'm trying to figure out if this is an avoidance story I tell myself or if others share this experience too. So I've got a couple of responses to this. So just straight off the bat, I do see a therapist, but my experiences has been up and down. I found that the therapist that you get is quite important. Just like when you went to school, you had some teachers that were amazing and some that weren't that good. The same thing will be true for therapists. Some, unfortunately, just aren't that good at their job, or perhaps your condition and what you're presenting with, they're just not that capable of. If you think of any profession, there's a range of skill levels and attributes and specialities, and professional therapists are similar to that. So for me, I found that I've had to sort of shop around until I found one that suits me best. And, for a while I was seeing one person, and then for whatever reason, I chose to stop seeing them because, well, they just weren't helping me that much. And that's happened a couple of times now. So I look at it in the sense of this is a person that's supposed to help, and if they're not producing that helping response, I'll find someone else that can help. So then the real question becomes, well, is it worth keeping on seeking if you're not getting help from the initial therapists and you're struggling to find one? And I think yes, because it's their job to help you. You go see experts when you need expert help. And for me, I use it as a stop break. If I'm in a bad mental state or something happens, or I go downhill, I want to have a therapist in place that I know, that I trust, and that knows me, that I can go to in an emergency. But the question goes on to talking about, does it help you? And for me, it helps me to catch me, but following the session, I'm actually oftentimes find myself in a worse mental state. And the reason being is that I find that I have to, the act of talking sort of opens up a lot of deeper wounds and sort of puts me in a place that leaves me a bit more vulnerable and a bit open to certain things. Because I'm talking about my emotions and feelings and all that sort of stuff. It sort of unlock some deeper stuff in me. So I find that it doesn't really help me to feel better, but it helps me to sort of get to know myself and recover in the long term. The question refers to the productiveness of a therapy session compared to, exercise, diet, that sort of stuff. For me, I find that as an ongoing sort of maintenance, diet, exercise, meditation, and writing are musts. I just have to do them. If I don't, I start to go a bit insane. So in terms of maintaining myself, those things I just have to do. I consider that my medication. Now, for other people, they have to see therapists, weekly, monthly, daily, whatever it is. For some people, they're on medication that, is their medication. So I can only speak from my own personal experience. So for me, I do those things daily because I know that it helps benefit my mental health. I prioritize those first. For other people, they'll prioritize other things. But in relation to the question and in relation to you, ask yourself, is it helping? Does this therapist help me? Is it a good stop break? And if you're coming up with no's, perhaps you should consider finding another therapist, because if they're not really helping you, if they're not doing what you need, you might be wasting your time with that particular therapist. In my mind, a good therapist will want to make you better and actually want you to almost not see them, in the sense that their goal should be to get you to a stage where you don't need them because, they've helped you to recover. So that's what I look for personally. I look for someone that can help me when I need, but wants to help me to heal to a place that I can help myself, i.e. give me the tools, the tricks, the ideas that can best, work with me. Now, for me, that's, like I said, diet, exercise, writing, meditation, all of those certain things. For you, it might be something different, but if you're finding, if you're finding that it's not working, and the fact that you're asking this question suggests that you've got an issue with therapy in general. Now, is it this therapist? Maybe. Is it you with therapy? Maybe. If you've tried multiple different therapists, I mean like maybe more than 5, and you're coming up with the same result, maybe you don't need it. Maybe it's the act of therapy itself isn't helping you at the moment. If it's just this one, maybe I would suggest finding a new therapist to see how it goes. Talk to the therapist themselves about this issue, saying like, well, look, I don't really feel like this is helping me that much for these reasons. And, the therapist might talk to you about it. Maybe there's something new that they need to try. Maybe you need to see someone else. Who knows? But like I said, for me, I use the therapist as a stop measure, as an emergency point if I need help, and also to help me to uncover deeper stuff. Because like I said, for me, when I see a therapist normally, it helps me to get deeper into myself, but it unlocks some sort of painful memories that I almost need to be ready to see the therapist to unlock. It's like a very deep, soul-searching activity. But that helps me, provided I'm in a good place. The final thing is that really you need to focus on what works for you. Like, I've read probably upwards of 100 self-help books, and, they're all bestsellers, and they've all got different advice. What that tells me is that people are finding different things to help themselves. And if you think of what a self-help book is, it's often their opinion on what works for them. And what works for them probably works for other people. And that's shown by the amount of sales they get. It's obviously working. But because a lot of the different advice is different, people need different responses. So in my mind, it's on you to work out what works for you and implement that. So if you're finding that diet, exercise, meditation, all that sort of stuff is working for you, good. Don't question it. Don't need to fix something that isn't broken. If you find that you do need that extra support, but the therapy that you're currently getting isn't working, see a new therapist. There might be a different approach. Finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to join my support group. And it's going to be based around my next book, How to Get Your Shit Together. So if you head over to Facebook, and the link will be down below, you can find the group at Get Your Rest Together. And the idea is that we're going to provide a place where people can share and ask for resources on overcoming anxiety, defeating depression, moving on from trauma, getting organized, finding meaning, and following our dreams. And what I want to do is create a place where it's not just, I need support, but it's actually providing tangible benefit to you. If you've got a resource that has helped you, it's a place to post it. If you go, well, I really need help organizing my finances, does anyone have a resource? You can ask there. It's that sort of thing. And the idea is that it will take someone or help people move from dealing with mental health issues to following their dreams. Because, in life, we need a bit of both. We want to be able to overcome those short-term issues as well as move on to following our dreams, because otherwise, what's the point? So head over and check it out. And last of all, if you're on Pinterest, I've started up a Pinterest board. I've got about 14 different boards on a bunch of different topics, some of the mental health and mental issue stuff, but also I've got a tattoo board and a recipe board and a bunch of other stuff. So if you're on Pinterest, head over and follow me at Zach P. Phillips. Thanks.